do really start having to hit shots, and the opportunities are there. You can see the players are Katana and players are rotating. No, for stroking, they've already gone. You missed out. They have to start hitting shots now.
And this is a zone right here, 8 zone, the one before things begin to start moving. For some of these teams, it's very, very important, if you do have the heals, to not take storm damage throughout these moving zones. If you don't have the heals, just like you see Hydro and Fastroki here, a refresh for not only the resources and the mats, but try to find some pizza, some chug splashes, legendary slurp juice, anything at this point.
Yeah, you can see how desperate they are. They're trying to find someone's box they can sort of force their way into, but the opportunities aren't really there right now. They're struggling to find them. This is very, very desperate times and desperate measures for Strokey and Hydro. A fight here breaking out where Mr. Savage and Vidil look to be the ones benefiting from this one. They don't get both eliminations onto Jalen and Twee, but they do pick up at least one. And some of the loot as well.
This might be too early to call, but I'm feeling 2019, 2020 Mr. Savage vibes coming out this season. I'm feeling it. Playing on a whole nother level. A reignited fire under Vidil. I feel like this could be their season. Make multiple finals, qualify directly to the FNCS Major 2 finals, and hopefully continue their journey even further. Finette and Razumi petting some amazing tags through the sky before making their own journey with the kinetic blade. Only 2 charges though for him, so he has to find that perfect spot with a little bit of elevation, which is going to be succeeded from now. Queasy and Vino, they're going to be ultimate low ground. They find Fastroki out, probably hunting for those heals, just ended up in the wrong box.
Yeah, we saw how low Fastroki was, and they just capitalized off of it, and now will start to make their move with their katanas as well. A couple charges being used here before positioning here in the zone.
Wow, quick shot, quick edit for Hellfire. Change layers, change locations altogether. Here's some shots going through, and this is where he's trying to go for the piece control. That could have been a good amount of damage if you were able to land the shot. But luckily for him, he's playing calm, cool, collected, just getting the loot, getting right on out, and trying to play for placement.
I'm sure he wanted to take that shot. Harley's toes are poking out. Up above though, you see Pixie and Della. I did say that they would look to play high, and here they are. But will they be able to hold on to it is the question. You see all these players katana and up. Not all of them are trying to take their high ground. But if they don't top ahead and claim front, they might get chopped out if they're not careful. You can see Vino looking up towards it. So they need to be very, very careful now as they move on through. There are players that can be a threat to them. See Harley. They're still in this game, still moving about. But they're starting to run low on materials. They're going to need a refreshing soon.
Yeah, they need to start finding those heals, thinking about how the meta has shifted into this end game. Kadu and Trex are trying to do the same thing, but Splash is being forced out a little too early here. Still 2 more zones to go. We get into this end game. He has a mythic Havoc pump. That is it when it comes to being able to fight back. So you can see what their win condition, what their strategy is in mind. Vidil, Mr. Savage, similar thing towards the low ground, but they have a couple more heals, and you got to imagine if anybody in this game right now has saved their augment, has game time, either that one or the ability to get that chug cannon out is going to be huge.
Yeah, and it gives them that bit of extra time. The zone pulled back so they could just move through these old tarps.
Wow.
That is very favorable for them. Kidu, on the other hand, is struggling here with no materials in the top right of the screen. Needs to hit a big shot here onto Drew. He sees him and he connects as well. A big, big chunk of damage. And 1 elimination added to the tally. That makes it 6. And that'll be enough to keep him in the game just a bit longer.
Just a bit, but didn't find any of the heals that he was looking for, so he has to continue on looking. Pixie Della from the high ground, trying to put the hurt and catch somebody off guard, break it through the box, but didn't find the shots that they needed to get the elimination overall. Into the top 11 we go, and they have a massive hold over the high ground and control over this lobby as they look down and just continue to rain down fire from above, pressuring everybody to try to expend those heals early on.
They need to hold on. You could see they were running low on materials. For L10C, he's running low on everything, and he doesn't have a teammate anymore. But there is still hope in this game with the shotgun. There is potential for big shots. A big shot is what Flodax will do here. Picks up Irizumi, and they continue to top.
This is where the race is going to begin here in a few seconds. It's the hunt for the heals. Vino only has the legendary slurp. Gotta hope Queasy has something in his back pocket. Savage has absolutely nothing, but they're following the zone close by. Gotta imagine if Fadil has anything about the damage. So even if he did, he goes down. Mr. Savage has to kind of clean up the scraps, but it's actually nothing. He gets absolutely nothing for his efforts. He goes down. Into the top 4 we go, with Queasy trying to heal off. He has multiple different variations of heals. It's definitely a possibility.
It looks like Queasy is in a very favorable spot. What does everybody else have, though? You can see the pizzas, the chug splashes on Pixie's side. That's going to do wonders for him staying in this. Flowdex has some floppers and chug splashes as well. But Queasy, he was able to pop a pizza. That's going to keep him in the game for even longer. I don't know if anybody else can keep up. Look what we have here. Slurpfishes, chug splashes, and even more pizza. It's a pizza party all around the lobby. But who's going to have enough to hold on? Pixie's starting to run low. And so we'll desperately start to run and try to find something else. Queasy, he's still going, still popping some heals. Who's it going to be? There's 3 players left, only 2 now remaining. Pixie run out of fumes. And so it's just going to be between him and Queasy. But I think Queasy might not have it. He falls, he drops. He doesn't have enough to hold on. And so it's going to be Juicy who picks it up, picks up the first game of the season, and has the bragging rights for now.
Go down where you're barely getting 1, 2, maybe even 3 points for your efforts making it this far into the game.
See now, they're starting to whip out their blades as they make their move onto zone. The Totem boys will do just that, but unfortunately Altenzi on the way has been taken out completely. Isn't even going to survive. It's Vino that takes him out. And I said that they did need to start doing some more damage, and that's what Vino is quite literally known for in lobbies like these, dealing immense amounts of damage. And they're also known for posturing tools. How you can see right now, they are above the rest of the lobby. And they are looking much better on Surge. Is that about 467 above? 400 damage dealt in such a short span of time for this team. But there's a reason we call them elite.
They're getting ready, too. You can see they're saving those legendary slurp juices. Not getting themselves up to 200 effective shield and HP. You saw them looking at their augments. You got to imagine game time has to be shuffled in there somewhere.
And the big thing is, they ain't really got to worry about storm sickness, you'd hope, at least this game, just because the zone did pull towards them. I think we didn't really see them going in the storm too much, so I doubt they've taken that much storm damage already.
Just kind of seeing the ingredients right now. I'm going to go ahead and let them cook just a little bit. Just a little bit. Might have to pull the pan off the fire pretty early if things get shaky. But for Juice Fishy and Shamoki, smooth sailing up until this point so far. 85 points. Winning that last game when it came down to the heal off, but no splashes on the back of Shamoki. Murstache and Tayson, though, spreading the heal, spreading the joy. Very, very minimal splashes being used off the side of Murstache. So you got to imagine when it comes to Tayson and Murstache, if one of them has to play heal off, like will be Murstache.
Yeah, they need a refresh here. Desperately. That is going to be the key to them being able to play any sort of meaningful game here. Hydro and for Strokey right now showing a masterclass in how to find refreshes as they pick Flixie up.
Oh man, it's already found.
So we picked up, right? He picked up a pizza, I believe that was.
Yep.
And so we might see those guys playing for heal off later on in this game. You can see that floppers as well in the inventory. All around the board, people just trying to stack the heals they can.
I just want to see this unorthodox play that he's probably building. He had the flint knock pistol as well. Combine that with the kinetic blade. If he does figure out a way to take height, he could try to deal some damage on Queasy and Vino. But that's if he can only make it that far. WeeK's going to take down not 1 but 2. Andalex and Deoxy meet their demise. Hydro and Fast Strokey, you saw them almost go down at the beginning of this game, still making something of their efforts here. 3 eliminations between the 2 teams on screen. But you see on the left, Queasy, Vino, smooth sailing. Nobody is even looking up, firing a single shot to try to contest them.
You say that, but as you do, there's a team chopping them out, and so it's going to be them falling. And it was Vidil and Savage that went past them. I don't think they're the ones trying to take it. Either way, they are able to regain it, but they need to hit a big shot to do just that. Shaykos has to sit down for a second, and Vino and Queasy will reclaim high ground, re-hold onto it. But once again here in this game, Vidil and Mr. Savage looking so good, so efficient, and picking up the limbs as well. Vidil, that's what he does best, and that's what he's been doing all season long. These guys are going to go the distance. Shamoki and Juice Fishy, maybe another game for them to potentially come out and win. It's all of the same top dogs from last game, really, to win this one. The consistency has been there here so far, but they have to continue to deliver. Tayson And Mustache, they don't quite have the minerals to play the heal-off game that the rest of the lobby will play. So they're here on low ground. They're trying to claim space. They're trying to find eliminations and pop off. But the pop-offs are happening above Hydro and for Strokey. 4 so far. And another team here just beneath their layup that they can capitalize on.
Uh-oh, the first of heals are going out for Hell's Fire, so heal off is not going to be a possibility for him unless he picks up these eliminations. He gets 2 back-to-back. Second one tries to sneak up, and he sends him right back down. There was the heals. I was thinking for a moment, it only gets 1 splash granted for his efforts. Malibuca and Thomas, they have more than enough heals, but they want to aggress onto this player. They want even more. They want the siphon and whatever he has in his inventory.
And Tayson in the backside of the zone. Very, very low now in terms of heals, and we already knew that. So it will just have to be a solo clutch, but it won't happen. Vino shuts him down. How many times have we seen them fighting off against each other? Vino looking to continue his reign of terror on this lobby. And another elimination found there, but he's gonna keep it going. He wants to get on Hydro, and Hydro was ready for it. A big shot onto Vino. And now he'll continue to pop his pizzas.
That was basically 50 HP. He landed him a couple extra seconds here in the zone. The heal off is going to start. Thomas goes down, but we knew that one was inevitable. Queasy playing the high ground. 1 splash left, opening up a box of pizza. Vidil's already munching down on his own. Last of the slice is going to be granted into his inventory. 6 more splashes. Even though Malibuca has more, he's hunting for extra heals left, right, and center. 3 more slices of pizza for Queasy in his inventory. 3 more in the box. Will there be any leftovers as we get into our top 3 scenario?
So much heals left, but Queasy's going to continue to move. He seems like he has something else. Vidil had so much, but eventually runs out. And so that just leaves Queasy to win it all out. A nice and easy game forward, and the zone pulled in their favor, Jacob, and they did not disappoint. Queasy and Veno just fully play for heal off.
My first initial thought said yes. My heart said yes, but
Did you have a lot of mats?
I didn't really see that, but my thought was he's a solo, so he needs to put out a high amount of DPS, so he might need the SMG to follow up with one shot. But my initial gut wanted to say yes, play the heals, play the heal off. Even if you don't have enough to win with a VR, you stagger yourself and you gather as much placement points as possible.
Wow, Jerky.
Oh my gosh.
That is the plays you need to make. When you're down on Surge, there's nothing left for you in this game. You can't be too passive. You've seen that from so many unexperienced teams where they just aren't ready to make the right plays that is going to allow them to win games. But Juriki, with no fear in his heart there, sees the window of opportunity and smashes his way right through it.
Like an acrobat in the circus, just putting on a show for everybody at home. Definitely going into somebody's top plays of week number 1 when it comes to EU. Vidil, not very much health when it comes to that. Pizza going down, though. You got to think, was that too early for Mr. Savage? Heal off might not be a possibility unless they get a refresh.
It's less so about being too early, but it was just a necessity, right? They have taken so much damage. They need to heal up. They can't play the end game with the HP they were on. But that might cost them down the line, right? When they do want to play the heal off, you are certainly right. Mustache and Tayson, they're having some struggles now. They need to start doing some damage. Down on Surge. And another game where they probably won't be able to play for heal off in this one unless they can get a refresh that gives them everything they need and have those pizza time augments waiting for them to be collected for Strokey. Still alive, Jerky, still alive as a solo, and he almost went for the Mongrel Classic there. I think he thought he had it. The player was not underneath the stair. Glove cheating. They're down on Surge as well. They need to start hitting some shots. There's still so many players left in this game.
Well, other players might have got a little antsy when they saw there was only 1 below the Surge to try to peek. That's absolutely nothing, especially when you have heals to try to out-heal it. 6 slices of pizza in the inventory for Fast Strokey. One of the guys we were looking at called out the moment he became a solo, but Slove is also there by himself, but only for a few seconds before his teammate uses that kinetic blade to try to close the distance. 47, still below the damage threshold, tries to fall through the sky, taking some damage as well, somehow pushes somebody straight to the ground, back to the lobby, but he meets that same demise.
He lands in the box of Diox and is punished as a result of it. All the way up above, though.
Wow.
Asher and Slove, they've ramped all the way onto ulti height. And they look to hold it now. All it'll take is someone to look up to start to chop it out. But the zone closes. The effect of a chop diminishes. They'll just land right back on height if you try it. And Alex and Diox, though, they're still in this one. We just saw Diox pick up one, and these guys are looking to pick up more as well.
Yep. Top 30 competitors, top 18 teams coming into this 10th zone, beginning to move, beginning to force people to make some crazy decisions on the fly as Diox is trying to go for a flank and a sneak attack onto one. Mustache is going to have to go as a solo as he loses Tayson along the way. You preface this just a little bit. Without the heals, they're going to be forced to try to play aggressive. Finds a med kit, but switches that on over to Floppers. The instant heal is going to be that much more important and useful for Mustache in this situation. Malibuka and Thomas, 3 eliminations, beginning to heat up in this game. Consistency is key. Monk tries to defend himself with a well-placed cone, but he still goes down.
And look at that gift. After just dropped right into their box. It was the free llama almost. And that just keeps them going. It allows them to keep on tarping. Juriki, as a solo, has done so well to stay alive up to this point, but he's running low on builds. You've got to think he's going to have to jump in soon or drop to low. And if he does, there will be players waiting here for him. There's Mustache on the other side of this wood, just beneath him. He doesn't know it though yet. There's a player running right past him. I don't know how that player didn't shoot him, but he's still alive here.
One of those plays that you got your head scratching. How did it happen and why? But that's nonetheless, he still goes down. But a second chance at life was given that he didn't take advantage of. Vidil, we saw him go down as well. Savage, no heals. He's just trying to make it to the front side of zone. He has just a little bit of builds to work with, but for him, he wants to try to bypass this chaos. That's why you see him going towards the outskirts of zone before he tries to go right back in.
And you can see just all the solos just having to try and frag out down beneath. Whoever's going up on height. Thomas and Malibuka are still down here though, and they can definitely play for the heal off. Need to make sure they don't take any unnecessary ticks of damage. We know how long they can last. Slove and Asa though. Slove's been tasked with dropping down and eliminating anybody that has a chance of heal off. And he has a med miss now. He can drop that for Asa when he needs it. I'm sure they'll keep track of that. Asa will be ready to drop down and use that one. They have so much for heals. Malibuka's fallen. And so now, Thomas's chances of healing off, they seem to be somewhat diminished. He doesn't have much left in the tank. He just needs to start hitting shots, and shots will be there to be hit. Della will fall, and now it's a 1v1. But Asa, all the way up above, has way too many heals for Thomas to do anything about. You've got to think. A lot of splashes he picked up, but look at the pizza, look at the slurps. We know he has a med miss available to him as well. Unless Thomas actually can find something astronomical here, you don't think he can win this one. You don't think he can hold on.
Gotta imagine, though, if anybody took that storm damage early on in the game, it could be hit. He finds even more. Thomas has more to work with. 3 splashes left, 3 pizzas of pizza, a slurp juice, med mist being used, still 2 splashes for the last moments when Storm Sickness begins to tick in. It's on and on the other side. Ace is now taking some extra damage, forced to use the heals. Thomas, he clutches up big, play after play, finding every single heal along the way to take the game. Keep everyone else towards the outside of the lobby as Vortexers just trying to go ahead and use those chug splashes, get them as close to 200 effective shield and HP, knowing how dangerous the rotations could possibly be.
Pixie and Della, who were looking so good earlier, for a moment having to just regroup and use a bunch of those chug splashes to get them back into this game. We might not see them play for height the way they have at their very, very best, but that doesn't mean that they will be quiet in this game. They will still make a bunch of noise. 900 above, Surge is not a problem. They don't have to worry about that. They do have to worry about starting to maybe pick up some refreshers, look to get their heals back that they just had to use, and top up on their materials as well so that they can tarp out the rest of this game.
Alvi and Swids, 203 above the damage threshold. Not too far of a rotation for them. So they're going to have the safety of the high ground and the comfortability. Just kind of gather all this information, put shots when they want. With only 29 medium bullets left in Alvi's Red Eye Assault Rifle. You can see why he's not pressuring people from above. Mr. Savage, just a couple of layers below, losing Vidil along the way. 43 below the damage threshold. Somebody went down, allowing them to go 188 above, giving Mr. Savage some comfortability. You can see how he's so far spread out from the rest of the lobby as well.
Yeah, you saw Artis was the one that actually got the final credit onto Vidil, man. These guys are taking out all the top dogs in this lobby. But Mr. Savage is a lone wolf, and he's done that plenty of time. One of the best solo players in the history of this game. And now, maybe a chance to show us exactly why the Norwegian is considered that. Shamoki and Juice Fishy, they're back in this game. They're back trying to show us what they can do. Axforce and Vortexers, who have climbed through the standings today, also have a shot at this one.
195 above the damage threshold. As I say it, they drop 220 damage. Somebody is putting in work right now, 11. And for Vortex as an act force, it puts them really on notice that we have to start being proactive. We have to start getting active. We have to start getting the damage that we need. Otherwise, you might fall behind. For Vortex and Jeffco, 10 above is all they're going to be able to really capture for now as they use the ODM gears to go around the zone, taking some damage, but that way they can get to the front side and have a little bit more safety on their rotation.
Yeah, their position is a lot much better off for it. Trexa and Kiduo, they're also in the front side of the zone, but both players a bit separated there. Not together, they need to get back to each other. Mr. Savage, even as a solo, knows he needs to be aggressive down on Surge. Knows he can't just sit there and be taken out by the rest of the lobby. And so he's going to try and make a play. He's landed on that player's wall, needs to be careful, needs to drop back a bit. But he's looking at the backside. He knows there's going to be players coming, but he doesn't see the ones that he turned his back away from, and that will be the end of his run. But there's still more to fight for. Juice Fishy, Shamoki, they're still alive as a duo, and they're causing problems, Jacob.
Yeah, well, they're one of the teams that we've seen make it to the end of game number 1, skyrocket to the top of that leaderboard. Now it's time for them to kind of play consistent, mimic that style of play as Della and Pixie under siege, under attack. ODM gear, melee attacks really causing destruction to the builds, forcing them on the back, but somebody's going to get into the box, putting a huge shot onto Della. Him and Pixie reunite yet again. The chemistry between these two is absolutely fantastic to watch.
It was Artist and Fire, bro, that kept on knocking on the door. They tried to slam it down, push it away, but they couldn't. They just had to slip away. But the game continues. You can see Albi up on height. They get chopped, and so they need to reconnect. They need to stay up there. Right now, that's their best shot of winning this game. Juice Fishy, Shamoki, they're still moving though. They're still alive in this one, but they're gonna have to start using some of their heals.
Yeah, with how quick the zone is moving, there's not too many opportunities to gonna put focus onto the high ground. Lurk Juice, he's able to get one. Back-to-back at that. He's going to clean up all this loot, the siphon, the refresh, absolutely needed in the moment like this. 5 eliminations that continue to push forward. Pixie and Della doing the same thing, but congested towards the low ground. That's where it gets dangerous. Into our top 10 we go as they're going above, changing layers. Instead of fighting fire with fire, they're playing the smart and the long game.
Yeah, but they need to maybe think about claiming low. That's where the eliminations are going to be. They need to start claiming space. Pixie and Grippe need to start hitting shots, but they can't. Curb, default. Really using them shotguns, putting it to work, but time is ticking and they can't keep up. Alvi has to drop down now. Swizz also dropping down. Nobody really looking to go for heal off. Everybody right now just looking to fight with their shotguns. It's back to what we're typically used to seeing. Skivvy is still alive. Juice Fishy though, in the back of the zone, is eventually gonna fall. And so it's Swizz all the way up above, now being forced all the way down.
He has no heals, though. Into our top 3. He's the last one alive for his team. He's trying to go and fight for it at the very end. He doesn't get nothing. And it's Shamoki and Juice Fishy yet again. 2 of our 4 games.
I don't know if Drew will be expecting it. They make some noise now, and so surely he'll be alert. But he just has to hide. He's hiding in that cone. I don't know if they saw him. I don't know if they saw him. He's just trying to hide. He's clearly vulnerable. They clearly didn't.
It's just what happens when you're just too quick for your own good. Quickly looked in, didn't see anybody actually in the box, didn't look under the cone. And that's a wood cone too. Just take a couple extra seconds, try to assess the situation, especially with how far you got up until that point. Tayson's left alone. Him and Murstache are just playing a game of tag. You go as a solo. You go as a solo. Your turn, my turn. But when it comes to Tayson's loadout, it's definitely one that can get the job done.
Yeah, and I think regardless of how this day closes out for this team, as the reigning champions, there will be respect on their name. I think anybody who's not familiar with Tayson by now, he's considered by many the greatest Fortnite player of all time, and rightfully so. He's won so many championships. But what's become a key feature of Tayson in recent seasons is that he doesn't really turn it on until the finals. He sort of saves himself, paces himself. When it comes final time, he activates GOAT mode and performs when needed. Over here though, Jack Pro and Vortex using those kinetic blades just to find new elevation, a new position in the zone as it continues to move. And nobody really establishing any sort of significant height right now. So surely we'll see somebody do that in the next couple of seconds. Pixie and Della might try to do that themselves. Stompy, JJ2. Gonna have to use some of these heals here. Bit of damage taken needlessly, yep. That's what we're seeing. It is Shamoki, Juice Fishy. They're the ones building up this game.
Consistency is key. And when it comes to this meta, I think I found a team that might have it locked down. And the best chance is to try to go back-to-back. I said it last time, even though it was the first and fourth game they win, they're trying to prove me right. They're doing all that they can to help me out. Shout out to them as Mr. Savage goes up and immediately back down. Shields just getting dropped off, just like his box getting destructed from all other angles, trying to reunite with Deal. And in just a few seconds they do. That looks scary for a moment for these guys. Two experts, but no strangers to this amount of chaos.
Stompy gonna be forced to play solo. Had to pop the pizza because he needed the HP. And so even if it isn't going to be a heal off for Stompy, there are still plenty of players in this lobby you can look to eliminate. Tayson will very much be on the same wavelength because he needs a zone pull back. Will help him here. And Stompy will definitely benefit from the zone pull back. It means he doesn't have to travel as far to get into the safe zone. Pixie and Della aren't up above, but here on this mid-ground layer, can they find actually anything? He's looking, you see him hunting, he wants to try to spot somebody in these builds. Gakpo, oh dear, he's been caught out.
Vortex towards the low ground. Using some splashes though. A little bit of HP's gone, just trying to make sure he's up to tip-top shape or as best as he can possibly be. Mr. Savage and Vidil, not too many heals on Vidil, just 35 and comes to the med miss. Tayson outlasting a lot of the chaos, outlasting everybody, even as a solo. 4 splashes, a legendary slurp. Pixie's gonna have 4 of said legendary slurps, but that's not gonna be possible to win the Halo off, so he's gonna be counting on Della here in this situation.
He found Queasy. Tayson's found Queasy in the backside of the zone, and he's looking for more. Velo's not gonna let him have it though. He's gonna blade away. And Tayson does have a blade of his own, but he's gonna use that slurpfish just to try heal off a bit, the chug splashes as well, and make his way into zone. Pixie's now also playing with the solo, so many left. It was Irizumi that took out Della. But now you're seeing Vino. He lost Queasy just a moment ago, and he now has a solo clutch of his own to try play for.
Needs HP though. When it comes to shield, he has more than enough. 6 minis, a shield fish that's instantaneous as Juice Fishy and Shamoki high in the sky right now. Juice Fishy slowly but surely though making his way down low. He is going to be the aggressor. Down goes Vino, but a much better performance than the last couple games so far. Down goes Tayson as well. Into the top 8 we go.
And Juice Fishy has the exact same task as last time to drop down and find the limbs, but he's taken too much fall damage. He's fallen. That's it for him. Vino gets the credit for that one. But Pixie, still alive, still kicking, still fighting, still trying to break through walls and hit big shots, and he did hit one, but it wasn't enough. And Cruel falls now. Vortex is still alive after Axe Force has been knocked, and he just has to run into the zone and use these chug splashes as best as he can. Shamoki is still up, but will he have enough heals another game in a row?
I don't see a pizza yet. I wonder if anybody called it in. 30 minutes or it's free. Vortexer's not going to get the pizza, but finds a med kit. Shmoky looking around for any other player that is healing off. It almost looked like he might not have any left over either, but he's so far away from everybody else. It's basically a one-on-one. 4 splashes left. Another med kit. This one's going to go down to the wire. I think Vortexers might be able to take it. He might have that much extra unless Shmoky can find a miracle, can find anything towards the tail end. He's running out of HP. He's running out of time. Kinetic Blade's back up. How did he get it? Shmoky steals away the game. He goes back-to-back and won 3 out of 5.
Again, you see Storm Sickness come into play. The heal-offs all throughout the day.
Stage in the game right now. There's still 27 duos left alive. Placement points haven't even begun to really tick in as Flixie is getting that huge beam onto 1 and wasting no time with the Kinetic Blade to try to close the distance. It's just, it's hard. You don't go down before the placement points.
Yeah, Sadie there with a mistake in this final game. Was not sharp enough. Flixie was looking for it.
Wow.
Whenever there's players on a similar elevation to you in those kind of situations, you have to beware that someone's going to take shots at you. And so now Flixie leading the way here in this final game. When we interviewed Grippy at the start of the show, he said he's blessed to be able to play with one of the best IGLs in the region, he believes. So now it's time for Flixie to show just why his teammate believes in him so much. Queasy, all alone, does have some mats and some heals, and of course that Kinetic Blade. So he can certainly make something happen. We've seen crazier things today.
because Vino went down before top 25 and a lot of those placement points, there are so many points on the board for Queasy and anybody, realistically, who's left as a solo in this game. There's going to be about 7 players running around as solos, trying to stay alive. Tien is going to be one of those. 49 below the damage threshold, though. He knows he has to start getting aggressive. 150 almost instantly as I say that. Puts him above the damage threshold, and I like this play. Instead of chasing around, trying to get the elimination, he's trying to stabilize himself for the rest of this game.
Has to start getting towards zone. Juice Fishy doesn't have much mats left and doesn't have much HP at all in the tanks. And Moki left to solo clutch, and so it's not going to be the heal-off wins we've seen from them. But maybe we'll get something better. Maybe we'll get something a bit more fast-paced, a bit more entertaining. Maybe he'll just decide to take the game into his own hands and pick off everybody. 0 limbs so far. Let's wait and see how many he can claim by the end of this game. It's Skydune and Shakers up above on height. Do they have heals? Yes, they do.
More than enough, or at least for this stage of the game, and trying to survive. As Shmoky's trying to do the same thing. Dropping low, going left, going right, tries to peek, sneak attack on the Vortex, but he goes down altogether. Into the top 20 we go.
Really nicely done there from Vidil and Mr. Savage as they use their blades. Made sure to stay right underneath that height team so they couldn't get shot by them at all. And Queasy doing a very similar thing. You see him making sure he stays directly underneath them, going unscathed, and now he can land peacefully and continue throughout this endgame. Skydune and Shakers, they have no vision of anything. They just have to stay up there and hope that their heals will be enough to win. Vidil and Mr. Savage, they're both a duo, and they're both fighting and finding loot here.
Yep, the only thing that's kind of went bad so far is too much damage to the Storm from Vidil. Depending on how much Savage has taken up to this point, maybe you kind of give him the heals, but he has splashes of his own. Many different win scenarios coming through some of these duos, but for WeeK, it's going to be a solo. Hellfire and Ref's Guard, you see them trying to push through and push every team back here as we get closer and closer. 11th zone moving. The next one's going to be the last as Deoxy gets 2. That's Pixie, that's Della, who go out at this stage in the game as they try to go above and up front of everybody else in the zone.
Low ground so free here, they just have to claim it, and it falls right into their hands. He dropped all the way down there. And if they can create a couple boxes, make some space, the world will be in their hands. You can see starting to move on now, and Hellfire's leading the way. Vidil is as a solo now. Mr. Savage has fallen, and so he has to go big, but like I said, Ref's Guard and Hellfire, they claim low ground, and now there's so many eliminations that are potentially there for them. They just have to keep on making space, and they'll find all these players in the backside that have nothing to really work with, but they need to connect with the shots as well.
Yeah, they do, but Queasy, you see his win condition right before our very eyes. Zone's gonna close. Everybody's gonna be fighting it out into the top 10. He opens up a fresh box of pizza to try to out-heal. Over 25 placement points to grab for Queasy as Vidil goes down. He was one of our front runners here in the game. Top 7 we go. Zone hasn't even closed. There's still so much potential for teams to try to heal off.
So many players still left alive. Look at them. A lot of them already trying to heal off. Queasy, you're not going to have enough heals to win this one out. You have to maybe just try and get into zone. He's running thin. But up above, Skydune and Shakers, everything was looking good for them. They had so many heals, but they've lost it all. They've fallen. Flix is out of this game. Skydune, no, he's still alive. Still has the heals, still has the pizza, the slurp juice, and some splashes. Queasy finally falls now. Default causing a havoc down below, but he's no match there for the shotgun of his opponent. He goes down after taking up a couple of limbs there as well. There's Skydune here now, all the way down beneath. And he's trying to find space. He doesn't even need to use his heals. Everybody falls at the wayside. Ref's Guard didn't quite have enough heals to outlast him. And that's going to be the end of the day, but a nice victory there.
Yep, when they absolutely needed it